Good morning, everybody. This is Chris Pfluger, the Chief Development Officer here at We Insure. And today we have another We Wonder. If it's Wednesday, it's We Wonder time. So today we're going to take a little break from interviewing folks from all over the nation, from different producers, from different insurance carriers, from national speakers on the other side. We have a whole myriad of different We Wonders out there. And today that break is really, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to talk to our founder, our CEO, Mr. Phil Visali, who's joining us today. Hey, Phil, how are you?
Morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. And the reason we're having this one today is kind of, I wouldn't say a mid-year break, but given everything that's gone on in 2020, I think it's a great opportunity to kind of take a momentary pause and kind of recap the first three quarters for us and talk a little bit about what we expect to see in insurance, the future of insurance, and kind of, where this started. Interesting enough, it's my 1 year plus 1 day anniversary here at We Insure. We've had conversations, many months before that, but the vision that you shared with me early on and kind of what we're accomplishing to this point has been very impressive, if I must say so myself. It's been truly impressive the way the company has come together and really grown. We have a lot of great topics to talk about today, including, our location is moving. We're staying in Jacksonville, but, we're stepping up to another side. We're doing a lot of different things, technology, kind of carrier access, all those things. And of course, our national expansion program. So first I want to say, as we did, welcome Phil. And I'm sure everyone's interested to hear from you. Tell us just briefly, I know not everyone knows your story. Tell us briefly, you started out in insurance quite a while ago, different company, and then had different ideas. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. But first want to say these We Wonders are awesome. So great job doing this every Wednesday. I get a lot of feedback from a lot of our carrier partners, and they just look forward to tuning in every Wednesday with you, Chris. You really bring on some really good topics and guests. So thank you for doing that. And also congratulations on the 1 year, 1 day anniversary.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm very excited.
Conversations we've had, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, talking about you joining Team We, and think about the 1 year, what we've accomplished together over the past year. Everything we said we were going to do, we did.
It's been amazing. It's been a great fun ride. Myself, Pete Crow joined on the same day. And so, we've had an opportunity to really work, very deeply with the entire team. And I could not have been more impressed early on. But, the fact that everyone's embraced kind of that change and that growth mentality, it's been really, truly fantastic. So I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself, Casey. If you don't know, I started in insurance when I was in college in Gainesville. I started in the senior market, actually. I started with a company called Bankers Life and Casualty, offering Medicare supplements and doing seminar selling. And I actually thought it was a great way to get your feet wet. You got to learn rejection. It doesn't matter if you're going to be in insurance or just sales in general. I learned a lot from that company. I thought they were a great company, great organization. And then I got lucky enough at Career Day to see a big sign that said, it said be your own boss. And so I walked over and was an Allstate booth. And what an opportunity that Allstate, what a great company. They gave me a great, I have fond feelings for them. They gave me my start in the P&C world, which I absolutely prefer. There's a lot of insurance people who like the financial services background. It's just not my thing. I'm more of an auto home business type of person. That's what I was really good at. And Allstate gave me my first opportunity. I think it was in 99. So I started in 1997, believe that. Was that like 23 years ago? But I got in the P&C business 21 years ago, and I was lucky enough to start with a great company, Allstate Insurance. Still love them today. Great. And taught me everything that they gave me the foundation to expand into what we've become today.
That's great. And I know your story from our conversation. So you worked there for quite a few years, developed out, a tremendous following. And then, obviously there's some hurdles, right? So you're with what we call a captive agent. It means they can only sell certain products that they have. Mm-hmm. And your story is interesting because it's a great, doesn't matter what happens, I'm still going to be successful type of a story. You still continue to grow that business. You still continue to grow your Allstate, even though there were some hurdles with it, right?
Yeah, a lot of hurdles. Actually, the hurdles that obviously the biggest hurdle is just having one product. I think anyone, if you're in medical sales and you're only selling one product, it doesn't matter what it is, you got to have multiple products, which will then give you the higher closing ratio. But I actually feel like other hurdles were just being a mom and pop agency, meaning just like a small little agency, even though I was doing really well and writing a ton of business and I was getting a lot of the awards and hitting all the goals that I needed to do in that area. But think about it. When you're running your own shop, Chris, you're cleaning the bathroom, you're marketing, you're doing all the quoting, you're then binding the policy, then you're putting in the management system, you're going to the bank, it's just so much. And I just really believe that there was a better way to sell insurance. If you wanted to be an insurance agent, I really felt like there was just a different, better way. I felt like my skills were best suited for just selling insurance. And I felt like a lot of insurance agents out there we were similar type people. And, I felt that they would be most successful if they could spend majority of their time just selling the insurance policy versus everything else that you had to do. And that's kind of how We Insure what we are today was started.
Well, and you also said that you end up making 2 or 3 of the independent agents around you.
Yeah.
You basically, you could only bind so many policies because people have needs. So of the 10 people you talk to, if you can only get 2 of them, 8 of them have to go somewhere else. So you referred them out to people around you, and that's a frustration, I'm sure.
Yeah, I felt like I was the biggest referral source for the independent agents in my area. Good for them. I sent them a lot of business, but if you, again, not just being an insurance agent, if you're in the sales industry, you want to capture and close it yourself, right? But unfortunately, having limited products at the time, I was a very big referral source. So I made a lot of friends and made them a lot of money, I guess.
Well, the good news is obviously that realization kind of helped you create, We Insure. So, tell us that, you basically got to a certain point, you saw the frustrations, you saw the changes in the Allstate model that, you weren't as comfortable with, and you decided to go a different direction. So you decided to, sell your book of business, which was great. That's one of the real benefits of being as an entrepreneur in the insurance industry is controlling that book of business. And then you decided to move from Sarasota to Jacksonville. And then you decided, okay, I'm going to start up something that truly meets all the needs that I have and gets rid of all those hurdles. So tell us a little bit about We Insure then.
So basically when I was starting the We Insure, the model, it was more really just starting an independent agency for myself at first. And so winning a lot of awards from my previous life, I thought, hey, I was successful there. I would, I have an insurance license. I have a background. You would just assume you can then represent all the major carriers like Nationwide and Liberty Mutual, Safeco, Progressive. But that reality check came in real quick. Basically, you had to put some time in. You had to get some carriers that may have been considered non-standard in the marketplace, build a book of business, make it profitable. So over a period of, I'd say 2 years of establishing myself in the Jacksonville market, and then having a lot of referral sources from my friends within, Allstate, State Farm, just in the captive world, getting a lot of referral sources. We were getting a lot of referrals, building our nice agency, and then the carriers came in and were like, and I kind of blamed the carriers for We Insure, but not, and jokingly, because we were writing so much business, and they're like, how are you writing so much business? And I explained to them how we're getting all these referral sources, and so we need more markets access. And so they were like, it sounds like you are evolving into a franchise. And if you're going to become a franchise, you really got to, get the lawyers, got to get the paperwork. And I didn't go to college. I tell people all the time, I didn't go to college to run a franchise. I had no idea about, I think of McDonald's when you think of franchises or something like that. But then what they told me really made sense. They know me, they know this operation, but they don't know those other locations or the referral sources. So what they wanted was similar processes, practices, everyone on the same network. And I got really excited, and we hired some of the best people. We built the infrastructure, and that's kind of how we started. In the very beginning was having everyone on the same processes, and then obviously flash forward 11 years later, it's a totally different company, much bigger and a lot more people, but doing the right thing.
Well, that's a great point. When people hear franchise, a lot of people go, uh-oh, what does that mean? Am I locked in? What's happening here? And it's not a bad term. It actually should be considered a great term. I have a lot of experience in franchising, and what I've seen is, and I tell people this all the time, you basically get branding, you get all the training, you get all the technology, you get the service side, everything is streamlined for you. And they say, well, can I do some of this myself? In some cases, no, but let's say, yes, you could. You also could start your own hamburger stand.
Right.
You could start your own, pretty much anything out there, your ice cream store. But if you want to do your own marketing, your own this, it'd be 15 years before you'd even come close
to scale, yes,
to getting to that point, and you'd never be able to scale that. So it really allows you to jump to the front of the line as an entrepreneur and say, okay, now I don't have to make all those mistakes and cost 5 times as much myself. I can really get in this. And again, the term turnkey comes up a lot is, if you do this correctly, and again, I've looked at a lot of franchises, and We Insure checks not only every box, but is the most turnkey and low cost way of jumping into a franchise that I've ever seen. It's unbelievable.
Franchise is not, I understand what people are concerned about having the franchises, but it's a way to protect your investment as well. It's just to make sure the whole network is operating above board in the same processes for everybody. If anything, there are so many, and this is the other thing. This company was founded by an agent for agents. That I feel like is the key, because I know exactly what they're feeling sitting behind their desk, paying their rent every month, figuring out how to do a market. So I mean, basically, when you join We Insure, I feel like it puts you ahead of the curve 5 years because we have the market access, the servicing. I talk to agents almost like every day, and the service department, which to me is like one of the biggest, obviously, benefits from day one of us taking care of your clients. But when you're brand new, you don't have any customers. But I remind them, 3 months from now, when you have a couple hundred customers, a year from now, 1,000 customers. That's when you really truly see the benefit and the power of what we do for everybody. And it truly is a win-win scenario across all boards.
It is. And when you mentioned that service, I'll throw a little plug in here for next week's We Wonder. I was just talking to 2 of our owners out of Southeast Florida, so I won't tip it too much. But Rob and Amanda are going to join us next week. And that was one of their big, selling points is they came from a competitor as producers. And they said, let me tell you, that day one service compared to where they were, where their service was in place, which was great, but they started on day 90. That saved them 2 months of work. They calculated 2 months work. And I'm not going to spoil it any more than that. I want to give it away. But next week is going to be a great interview as well. So, but again, you're talking about really time savings. And when you save that time, what do? You can sell more. So
that's the whole concept, right?
That is the entire concept. Well, that's great. Well, Phil, there's been a lot of change. We started off the year 2020. We had a lot of plans in place. We got together as a team. We were very excited about what 2020 looked like. National expansion. Really what you had built was an amazing, amazing system, and primarily in Florida. We had one location in Georgia, but primarily in Florida, really one of the most difficult states to operate in as far as insurance goes because of, numerous, weather events. So, you mastered it in Florida, and you had the vision, the idea to say, let's take it to national expansion. Of course, we start off the year, everything's great. And then by mid-March, we have all of these pandemic concerns. And I've told our team this many times, we had the number one excuse in human history, a global pandemic where everybody is, obviously rightfully very concerned. They're all working from home or not working at all. And people are getting sick at an unknown rate. What's going to happen next? So we had to take our entire service team in a day, move them all to working from home. And again, that worked out remarkably well. But in the middle of that, we still continued the national expansion. We decided to implement the number one technology solution in insurance and just put a whole new system in. And on top of that, continue to grow.
Yeah, it's remarkable what we've accomplished, Chris. First of all, just in the past year, I think our units or locations have grown almost by 45%. I think 42 new locations were opened up in the past 12 months. We'll probably have another 50 this year, something like that. Just continuing the national expansion, that what we've started talking about a year and a half, 2 years ago with you and Pete. But it's truly remarkable by having the infrastructure in place when we had this pandemic happen in like mid-March. Within a day of us, I think even before our mayor, our local government officials told us we got everyone out of the office, and within days, everyone was working again, meaning like online and seamlessly. Obviously, and on top of it, we also had to go through we were going through a new conversion. So, with all of that, we've really come through. I'm just really proud of the team. There were some hiccups, obviously, and, some conversations I had asked some agents apologizing for this and that, but not what you would think. I'm just really proud of everyone stepping up and staying with We, because there was a lot of opportunities that, they could have left and just stayed home because it was a scary time. But today is totally different. I feel a lot, behind me. There's light at the end of the tunnel. You can see all the light.
Well, it actually was quite remarkable. And again, I have to give a lot of credit to our owners out there, our existing owners, because, there's no technology implementation you do at that level that goes without a hiccup, right? You could run redundant systems, you could do anything you want, but at the end of the day, there's going to be some hiccups. And again, I don't even consider them owners. I really consider everybody, brand ambassadors, because they truly love We Insure. And, I've not heard, when I did my due diligence on the company, I didn't hear a bad thing about it. I just heard, love this place. And it's so much better than what we were doing before that, they literally were trumpeting that from the top of any mountain they possibly could. So it was a wonderful experience to find out that people truly believe in the brand. But at the end of the day, it's a product that everybody needs, right? So it does lend itself. And again, the growth that's occurred, now that we're in 9 states, and again, since the beginning of the year, not
Right.
over the last 4 years. Since the beginning of the year, we've had quite a few, growth opportunities. And again, we're lining up people in multiple states for strategic growth. We're not looking to just blast across the country. We want to make sure.
Definitely not, because we were partnering with our carriers, our national carriers, to go into the states appropriately and what cities of that state, just because we say, it doesn't matter what state, but we want to go in the strategically right spot to open up that next location. And I understand, you probably have a dozen states that want to open within the next 90 days, but we have to do it the right way. We have to go pick and choose the right person, because some of these people they're like the founding office of these states, which, I'm all for, but we got to make sure they're the right person and they fit within the We Insure model, and just, want to continue to grow. And the other thing I wanted to mention is like how you had mentioned about the pandemic, and since March and now we're in September, if you have any people who are looking into joining We Insure, have them call one of these, any agent. Like, just go to weinsuregroup.com and pick an agent and call them up and see how their operation is going in their business, and how is it truly with working with the corporate office and things like that. Because I agree with you, Chris. I think I'd like to say everybody, but I'm sure there's somebody that doesn't like that hamburger done a certain way.
Exactly. Well, I would say I have found that to be the case. That everyone's still a brand ambassador, whether it's a fit for them or not. But they still realize that the model itself is so much better. And again, we've had a lot of people now inquire that were, not just purely in insurance, right? Some people have inquired now, and we've had a lot of actual, people join us and invest in a We Insure who are looking as an ancillary turnkey business. And I use that term ancillary, and I was corrected the other day because most of my real estate friends joke about it and say, really, it's our core business now. We have real estate, but now we don't have these things, we don't survive. So, We Insure has become one of those things where people are looking at it saying, man, this model is so good. And it is, I just need to find one really good producer and then add from there to build out my agency. That, we have people that were in financial services and financial planning and say, I've got all these other clients, they really have a need for insurance. Why am I not putting one together? Or someone who's in life and health and said, I've been doing this, but I can't help them on their auto or their home, so I'm going to do it now by adding a We Insure. Or frankly, in real estate where I came from, most of the owners are thinking, wow, every single thing, if I do, mortgage or real estate or title, it's a one-time transaction for the next 7 or 8 years. It's all the time.
Why is We Insure so good? What is it that's so appealing to join a company like We Insure? It's what you just said. It's what everyone else is doing is that one transaction. They get the big hit up front, which I'm assuming is a lot of money they can make real estate brokers and title, mortgage, and all that. But you ever hear that thing called residual income? It's amazing. And especially after 11 years, you can see how big the company has grown. So, and I talked to like the newer offices, I was just talking to an agent who I think he just opened up 6 months ago and how excited. I said, let me talk to you in 6 more months or a year from now when you're getting your first round of renewals kicking in. You think it's great now. It's going to be dramatically different in a year from now, and good for them.
And it is truly that, that compounding effect over the years is really exponential growth for you.
Better than any savings account or bank or any of those type of things. I think I talked to a lot of other agents and I feel the exact same way. I was never big into, and again, I'm not saying don't do 401ks because I'm all for it. We have 401k for a corporate office and all that. But I think as business owners, that's what we always felt like. This is our retirement. This is our 401k. As big as our office continues to grow, we have offices that sell. I mean, people are with us 5 years, 10 years, and then decide to sell. It's hundreds of thousands, $1 million worth of, and do you have that in your 401k today? I don't know. You see what I mean? Like, not everyone does.
Right.
You can by the sale of your book of business, which is one of those other benefits.
It is a great benefit. And a lot of people are recognizing, the value of it, but it truly is unique because it's helping people, right? It's not just, I'm trying to sell someone something new, or they need a new car, they need to do one of these. It truly is helping people because everybody needs both homeowners and auto. Now, mind you, you could have a boat, you could have the watercraft toys, you could have a golf cart, you could have $100 million home on the water. It could be a lot of different things, but you also have commercial, right? So we cover a lot of different areas that it touches their life in many, many ways. And again, truly having access to that many carriers. And my own personal story, as I saved I would save thousands of dollars, from one year to the next by reshopping a policy, in my home and finding that, hey, there's a better carrier and their appetite, in this particular area is now, financially advantageous to me. So we switch over to a different carrier and, our family saves thousands of dollars for the year. I get a better policy and I save money.
But you still have your agent.
Exactly.
Isn't that the agent? Fall in love with your agent. You don't have to worry about the carrier. We can have you with XYZ insurance company for 3 years. They're doing great. They have very competitive rates. But guess what? If they have an issue and their rates go up and it's just not competitive anymore, then your We Insure agent will then just place you with ABC company. And that's what's the whole residual income. Our retention is extremely high. And retention just means like, once Chris, you are now have an insurance policy with We Insure, your agent, your policy will, I think it's like 90-something% that renews every 6 months or every year.
Exactly.
So think about it. Make $100,000 your first year, 90% of that is going to renew the following year. So now you got 90,000 plus you add another 100,000. That compound effect is just, it's dramatic.
It is dramatic. And again, it builds so dramatically over the years, but it's a fantastic opportunity for every business owner to take a look at. So we're very excited about that model. I know you're excited about the model because, we see the growth that we talked about over the years, even more so in 2020 than we expected. Frankly, we exceeded a lot of those goals already, but the excitement around it and the growth isn't going to stop. One of the other factors I did want to bring up is I know a lot of our carrier partners That's one of the big issues that you have is getting, appointments with different carriers across the board. And a lot of our carrier partners really enjoy working with We Insure. And I wanted you to tell us a little bit about that because it's a different than you'd expect. Like if you're in another industry and you say, I just want to use this outlet, and they say, go ahead on mortgage and sign up and take our money.
I see what you mean. And I actually didn't know that until I met a lot of your mortgage and real estate brokers. Insurance is totally different. It's 100% relationship. And I'm all about relationships, and that's how we started the companies. And you really get to learn who you partner with, like your marketing representative or the VP of marketing, whatever the case is. You get to know that person. You get to know the values of what the carrier is about. And you try to align, just make sure that both companies' strategies are in line. And if it is, then now you got another best friend. They're there to support you. We have the best carrier partners out there. They support us all the time. Obviously, we support them as any way we can by being a distribution channel and issuing millions and millions of dollars monthly with all the carriers. Between I think John Henning, who is an awesome guy, John Henning. He's part of the team, the franchise team. He put on there that there's 129 offices open, and hundreds of millions of dollars in sales every year, and that's just going up every year. So again, carriers like it because obviously, the premium dollars and they're hitting their goals. So it's truly again another win-win scenario where the agent has the capacity to issue the business and the carriers want it, and we're able to find the right partners. Unlike the real estate and the mortgage, I think where you were saying it's more of a
you choose it, you can use the outlet, and that's pretty much it. In most cases, you'd sign up with them, but in these cases, you just don't get an appointment, right? It's you have to have this relationship. So going with someone like We Insure, kind of changes the model. When I talk about going to the front of the line, you don't have to go one at a time and hope that someone appoints you and you have 3 carriers. We have well over 100 carriers. In most states, we have, between, 58 and 150 carriers, depending on which state we're in, which is whatever's necessary to really make you fully.
Well, that's the other thing that we're learning. You had mentioned how we started originally in Florida. And actually, we were known as We Insure Florida. That was our name. We had no intention of going to any other state. And we had a different logo, and we mastered Florida, like you said, and we're partnered with every major carrier in the state, hands down. I truly believe we have more market access than anyone in the state of Florida. Is that good? I don't know. We want to make sure we're partnered with the right ones, right? Just because they have a certificate of authority to sell insurance doesn't mean they are competitive, or maybe their goals are different than ours. But at the end of the day, we still have more market access, and we do have the whole market access for an agent to come on board from day one, not having the license. Kind of what you're saying about, like, I have 3 carriers. From day one, you're going to have, 50 to 150, depending on your area. But one of the things I wanted to mention, Chris, that you were saying, like when we're going into all these other states, we may not have what you have in the state of Florida, but you don't need it, because I'll just pick Texas. Like when we're in Texas, a national carrier will write auto insurance, homeowners insurance, commercial. Like they offer all the multiple lines. Whereas in the state of Florida, we have some carriers that do what we call like bundling. I'm sure you've seen commercials of those type of things. But in other states, the national carriers are truly writing the multiple lines, which makes it totally different than Florida, where they would only just sell auto, or maybe they may just sell homeowners. And again, these are just conversations that we can have with the potential person who wants to join We Insure, depending on their background. If they understand the insurance industry, then they get it immediately. If they're coming from a real estate background or a mortgage, it's all foreign to them. And then we can easily explain it and guide them through the right process of opening their location, their office, and all that. We're all about support.
Well, the great news is too on those carriers is, we have a team that monitors those carriers and works with those carriers on your behalf. So, between, Pete, Ron, and Daniel, we have people that are literally working with them on a daily basis and make sure that, we know what's going on with them. We make sure we're up to date on every training they have or every change they may have upcoming. And so you don't have to maintain those. Most people that have 2 or 3 of those kind of carriers, 2 or 3 of those kind of carriers, would would come back in and say, hey, I've got to maintain a relationship. I've got to, supply this or do that or follow up on. That's already done for you. And that's an amazing feature in itself.
That want to have those relationships, and that's okay. But it's not required because we have those people on staff that have the constant relationships. Hey, Darby. I can't believe it's been a decade. Getting old. But we absolutely thoroughly enjoy doing, because that's part of our job, is to maintain those relationships, meet with the carriers, look at the production, where's it coming from. We're experts at that by now, right? But our agents are good people. And they're very charismatic and they love to talk. So we do have a lot of offices that want to do that as well. With their local representative. It doesn't matter. If you want to or not, but at the end of the day, corporately, we've got it all worked out.
Oh, it's truly amazing. Once I saw that piece and how, when you come aboard the first 3 weeks, we have a team of people that just get those assignments for you. Yeah. You don't have to actually go through the process yourself. You're working with them to do it. It's unbelievably, convenient and streamlined. It really brings a tear to a lot of people's eyes that are on the insurance side, because they're like, I can't believe this happens without me doing it.
They appreciate it more. The existing agents who join We Insure appreciate the model more than someone on the outside who doesn't know any different.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we just want it to work. It's a win-win. We're just looking for more like-minded people who want to grow another business on the side. If they already have real estate or mortgage, that's one of the reasons why I asked you to join We Insure, Chris. You have that background with the largest real estate franchise in the world, mm-hmm. and you're the leader of it for the franchise units, right? And so we were lucky enough to meet you. And we talked about the vision, the idea, because you didn't come from an insurance background, nope. But you had the understanding of the franchise. You understood all that, and that's why I felt like it was just a perfect fit. And it's everything we talked about a year ago. Not only did we meet, we're exceeding all during this pandemic, which truly is letting me realize that this model is by far the best out there. There's probably a Burger King, McDonald's, and a Wendy's out there. We're just, hopefully we're the one that you like the best, whether you're the McDonald's type of person or if you're Coke or versus Pepsi. But there's only a couple of us out there, and we're truly the new. Like if you think of the Allstate Nationwide State Farm or 75 years ago, I think We Insure is today's version, the 2020 and beyond. Insurance.
I would agree with you. I would say that 100% is true. That that this model and the flexibility and the fact that you can bring your clients in and shop across all brands. They don't have to go and check 15 different places and have to understand insurance well to even make an informed decision. You have an expert who now has access to literally everything on the market and can give you exactly what you need, not only what they have. They can give you what you need to meet your needs as a client. Not only is doing the right thing, but it helps retention and keeps business coming in for a long period of time because you did the right thing. And
I'm a fan of online technology, InsurTech, all that is definitely the future, but consumers did not go to insurance school. We did. We're the experts. We know exactly the limits, coverages, things like that. And it is a little scary when you could go online and because at the end of the day, a lot of people may think of price, and that's what they base it on, right? It's 100% based on price if they're doing that. Having the advisor that doesn't cost you anything on your end, that's the way to go to make sure you're properly protected. And obviously, we're the ones who are going to find you the lower price because we're so good at it. That's what we're known for. You give us an opportunity, and we're going to get you the best price out there.
Well, that's the thing I truly was impressed with. As we went through this process, we've had this conversation about people saying, "Well, can't you go online and do it?" Mm-hmm. Well, you can do it for an automobile because there's a VIN number, right? Yeah. But automobile insurance changes. People change it all the time. Right. But on your home, there's no VIN number. So if you went on and got an online quote, it's wrong 100% of the time because you have to actually spend time to put all the information in and make sure it's accurate. The other way, if you get an online quote, it's usually cheap because they stripped everything out.
Exactly.
And you're not really covered.
Consumers don't know.
For anything. So
consumers don't know that, and that's the scary thing. Like you could be a multi-millionaire, you go online because you got mad at your insurance company because they raised your rate $20, and then all of a sudden you're saving hundreds of dollars. But guess what? You don't even have the same coverage. You got bare bones type of coverage, and so that part's scary. But I do believe it in the future of the insurance tech, of getting policies online. It's just not there yet. We're working on it. We got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline. As far as the property insurance, we have a lot of good partners out there. Let's put it that way. Whatever it's called, APIs. I'm not the IT person, but we got a lot of cool technology of getting instant rates and flood as well. We got great flood partners, and that's the other thing that we got to start talking to our agents about. But not on this call, but when I have our monthly call, that there's a lot of cool things happening in the industry.
Well, the number one thing I like about We Insure, from my perspective, is culture. The culture of the organization. It starts with you, obviously, everybody within the organization, as well as all of our I call them again our owners out there. They truly do believe in this, and they truly want to help people, and they leverage the fact that we have all the service done, we have all these things in place for them, but they leverage it to help more people. So they're growing their business at the same time. So it truly is a win-win for everybody involved. And it's a fantastic model. I couldn't be more proud to be with it. But our other announcement, I guess, if you want to share that, is that we're moving into a new building by the beginning of next year. So in 2021, it'll be very exciting. Have that announcement coming up.
Yep.
I know that was part of your vision. Is to
new corporate building. Currently, we have about 100 plus employees. In our current existing, most of our carrier partners that might be on this web thing might be hearing about, they know where we are today, but we're going to be moving to a new building. We're going through some renovations with it, but it's by the town center of Jacksonville, and so it's going to be in that area. It's
a fantastic location, a wonderful building, and a great, kind of the crown jewel in our growing empire for We Insure. But again, it's all based on the fact that we have great people, great people like yourself, great people like all of our owners, our brand ambassadors, as I call them, and everybody out there. As we're talking to folks, if they have a similar mindset, we'd like to talk to more of them. Again, we have more and more states coming on board, so you're going to see more and more. That's our number one problem right now, is keeping up with all the PR. Is announcing new states.
I know.
In there. I say that jokingly, but I think I smile ear to ear every time I say it. Is keeping up with all the PR and the new announcements of people joining the brand. And again, that just is a testament to how great, the great vision you had in the beginning, and how disruptive and how truly impactful the model really is. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Chris. And I also wanted to just remind anyone who's on here that if they want to have a confidential, private conversation with me, I would love to speak with you. I do it all the time. So I can pretty much answer any of the questions that you may have. So just reach out to the franchise department, and they will let me know if we could schedule that.
That would be great. And again, you've been very generous with your time. I know that in many cases, we've talked to a lot of producers for owners, just to, the individual has a lot of questions, and you've jumped on a lot of those yourself because you're such an expert on the insurance side. It helps a lot, and people are very, very appreciative of your time. So again, very generous. And again, where else can you find that, where the CEO and the founder of the company is willing to jump on with someone right away and literally just, let's get in it. Let's talk about what you're trying to do, what your goals are, and how this fits. And so a truly unique approach
here, because the way I would say it is, like, if you're looking at another organization and the CEO or founder or president or whatever wouldn't do what I'm talking about, doing the normal stuff, I don't think you're talking to the right company. So again, an agent found this company for other agents. This is the most agent-friendly organization out there. Sharing the most of the revenue, and the more we share, the more we make together. And I ask our great agency owners to not only share their wealth with their producers, because the producers in their offices are building their books of businesses and the overall of We Insure. So a lot of our agents agency owners have done that, and we've got great producers out there too. Don't forget about them, because the producers, we have more producers than we do agency owners. We have hundreds of agents out there issuing policies every single day. They're just not in a position, or maybe they just don't want to open their own location. That's okay too. We have something for them as well. We have, where you can work in an office or part of an office. So we're just looking for good people. That's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. And again, well, Phil, I know we're here toward the end, and again, I appreciate your time today. It's always good to kind of take a little time out, a little pause as the year is going on, and it's been a hectic growth year, but a very exciting year overall, with the new technology being put in place and the industry-leading technology being put in place, and going with those new systems, talking about new buildings, talking about growth in multiple states. It's truly, We Insure is really on fire. And again, thank you for taking the time today, and thanks for the vision, and thanks for the leadership. I mean, I think we all realize that, without that original thought process and the day-to-day, conversations, this would never happen. So we all appreciate it.
Well, obviously, thank you to everyone on here. And if there's any follow-up questions, just reach out to me. And Chris, you got my number.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining us again for another We Wonder. You have a great day.
Talk to you later. Bye.